Alright, so in the last video we created the profiles page, which will list each profile item. Now if I click on one of these links here, it's going to go to profile / and then whatever the user's handle. This one's John Doe, this one is Brad Traversy. So we want to view the profile from that URL. Alright, so we're going to go into VS Code now, and we're going to create a new folder under components called, not a new file, a new folder called profile, okay, singular. And we're going to create a component, a new file called profile.js, uppercase P. And this is basically going to be like the container for the rest of the parts of the profile, like the header, the about section, the credentials, and then the GitHub section. So I think what I want to do is create all of the profile sections here and just kind of display just a piece of text for now, just so we can see that we can actually bring the subcomponents in and just display them, and then we'll work on them one by one, okay, along with, you know, getting the profile data from Redux State. So let's create a couple more files here. The next one is going to be called profile header.js. Okay, we're also going to have profile about.js. We're going to have profile creds.js, which will show the experience and the education. And then we also want profile GitHub. Profile GitHub.js. Okay, so these are the different pieces of the profile, or the subcomponents. Now for each one of these, let's go to profile about, and let's just create a class. We'll say profile about, and we're just going to grab that, put that down here, profile about, and for now we'll just put an H1 and we'll say profile about. We can even put a to-do here. Alright, and then what I'll do is I'll copy all this and save it, and then we're going to do the same thing for profile creds. Okay, we'll change this to profile creds. Change this. Save. Okay, we'll do the same thing for profile GitHub. And do the same for profile header. All right. So at least we have the components created, and they just all have an H1 for now. All right. So let's close all those out now that we have those, and let's go back to profile.js. So from here, we're going to create another class-based component called profile. All right, and let's bring in all of our components we just created. So profile header, we want to get that from, not equals, from same folder, profile header. All right, and then we'll get the other three as well. So we have profile about, we have profile creds, and we have profile GitHub. All right, so we're bringing those in. Let's also bring in our spinner, because we're going to need that. So we'll go ahead and bring that in from /common/spinner. Whoops. Okay. and then let's go down to our render. Actually, before we add any markup, let's do the Redux thing, because we're going to need to fetch the profile. So we're going to import, I'm actually going to go up here and import connect. Prop types. We're also going to need link from the router. All right, let's see. And then aside from that, I think it's just going to be actions, which I'm not going to get just yet. Let's go down to the bottom here and export connect. And we'll pass in here map state to props, and we'll create that. And all we want from the state is profile. All right, let's create our profile dot prop types. Okay. Now we'll create our action to get the profile by its handle. Okay, because that's what we're doing first. We also want an action to get by its ID. We do have that API endpoint as well, but we're going to focus on the handle for now. So let's import get profile by handle from // actions / profile actions. Okay, and then where we're going to call this is when the component mounts. So we're going to put in our lifecycle method here, component did mount, and we're going to say now let me just show you something here. When we go to one of these links, we have to get this from the URL, okay, because that needs to be part of our query in our action. So what we can do is we're going to check, we're going to say if, and React Router 4 makes it pretty easy because we can get it from the props. We can say if this dot props dot match dot params dot, and then whatever it is, in this case handle. Okay, so if that exists, then let's say this dot props dot get profile by handle, and then we'll just pass in that same this dot props dot match dot params dot handle, okay, which will be John Doe or Brad Traversy, whatever it may be. All right, so that will check for that, and then it will call that action and pass that in. So now let's save this and let's create this action here. So we're going to go to our actions, profile actions, and let's see, we're going to go, we'll go right below the get current profile. It's actually basically the same thing except just a different route. So I guess, yeah, let's just copy this. And we'll paste that in. We'll say get profile by handle, profile by handle, and it's going to get passed in a handle, which comes from the route. We're going to set profile loading, make the request, except this time the request is going to go to API profile handle / and then the variable handle. So I'm going to change these to backticks so we can use a template literal here and put in a variable, and put in handle like that. All right, so we get the response. Say we're going to call get profile, send along the data, and down here we're going to call get profile, except if there's an issue here, we want this to be null. Okay, because we want to be able to check to see if it's null. So let's save that, and we'll go back to profile.js. And now, actually, let's go back to our browser here. And oh, one thing we need to do is create the route. That's right. So let's go to our app.js, and let's bring in the profile component. So we're going to say import profile from profile/profile. Okay, and then we're going to create a route. It's not going to be a private route because anybody can view a profile. So I'm going to copy this, and then we want the path to be profile/handle. Okay, and then the component is going to be just profile. So let's save that, and let's go back. And if we were to click on this, this .props get, okay, so I forgot in the profile component to add that get profile by handle down here like we're supposed to. Okay, we should also add that to our prop types. All right. Okay, so we're not going to see anything here, but let's reload and make sure you're at a URL like this. And if we look at our state and we look in profile, it has John Doe. Okay, so it's actually looking at the URL and it's calling get profile by handle, passing in whatever this is, the handle, returning the profile through the state into our component, and we're able to see it over here. We're not displaying anything yet. We'll get to that, but at least it's showing in the state. If we go back and we go to Brad's profile, now look at the state of the profile. It's now the user of Brad. All right, so the Redux part is done. All we need to do now is deal with the display. Okay, what we could do, I mean, we brought in all these subcomponents, so we could display each one of these if we wanted to. Like we could go return div, div, and we could say profile header. And if we save that and we go look, looks like I got logged out. And if we go to one of these profiles, we see the to-do profile header. All right, so under the header, we'll have the about, I believe. So we have the header, the about, the creds, and the GitHub. And if we go look, you can see that all those are displaying. So now we just have to deal with each one of those individually. All right, so I think that's going to be it, guys, for this video. In the next one, we'll begin here. We're going to have to check to see if if we want to check to see if it's null or not. We want to check to see if the loading is false before we try loading anything. Once we do that, then we can work on each individual part of the profile. All right, so I'll see you in the next video.